Muhammad Ali, the man who told the world, "I am the greatest," before anyone believed it, the man who never backed down from anyone, the man whose confidence was as legendary as his left hook, sits across from Bruce Lee in a private gym in Los Angeles, 1972, and says two words that shock everyone in the room. Teach me. Not fight me, not prove it, not show me what you got. Teach me. The greatest boxer in history asking a 135-pound martial artist to teach him. And what happens in the next 2 hours doesn't just change how Ali fights. It changes how he thinks about combat, about limitations, about the difference between being great and being complete. This is the story of the conversation that bridged two worlds, two philosophies, two legends who respected each other enough to learn from each other. But to understand why this moment matters, why Ali's willingness to say, "Teach me," reveals more about his greatness than any knockout ever could, we need to go back 3 weeks. Back to when Ali first heard the name Bruce Lee. Los Angeles, May 1972. Muhammad Ali is in town for a promotional tour. He's between fights, staying sharp, doing interviews, making appearances. His star power is at its peak. Everyone wants a piece of him. Everyone wants to be in his orbit. Ali is at a Hollywood party thrown by a producer. The kind of party where movie stars mingle with athletes, where deals get made over cocktails, where the powerful come to see and be seen. Ali is the center of attention, as always, telling stories, doing magic tricks, making people laugh, that magnetic personality that makes everyone in the room gravitate toward him. Then someone mentions Bruce Lee. "You should meet Bruce Lee," says Jim Kelly, the martial artist and actor who would later star in Enter the Dragon. "He's here tonight. Most incredible martial artist I've ever seen." Ali is intrigued but not overly impressed. He's seen martial artists before. Demonstrations at military bases, karate exhibitions, breaking boards, fancy kicks, kata that look beautiful but impractical. Impressive as performance art, but Ali's world is different. His world is real combat, hitting and being hit, pain and courage, and the will to keep going when your body wants to quit. "I've seen karate guys," Ali says, smiling that famous smile. "They're fast with the boards and bricks, but when real punches come, they freeze up." Jim shakes his head. Bruce is different. He's not like those guys. He studies combat the way you study opponents. Scientific, practical, no wasted movement. The way Jim says it makes Ali curious. Jim isn't a casual fan. He's a legitimate martial artist, competed in tournaments, knows what real skill looks like. For him to speak about someone with this level of respect means something. "All right," Ali says, "introduce me." They find Bruce Lee in a quieter corner of the party, talking with a small group. When Ali approaches, Bruce stands. They're a study in contrasts. Ali at 6'3", 210 pounds of heavyweight power. Bruce at 5'7", 135 pounds of compressed speed and precision. Ali extends his hand. Bruce takes it. The handshake is firm, respectful. Two men recognizing something in each other immediately. "Muhammad Ali," Bruce says. No nervousness, no starstruck moment, just acknowledgement. "I've studied your fights. Your footwork is exceptional. The way you move at your size, it defies conventional boxing wisdom." Ali is immediately impressed, not by flattery, but by the specificity. Bruce isn't just saying, "You're great." He's identifying technical elements, talking like someone who actually understands combat at a deep level. "You're the kung fu man," Ali says. "Jim tells me you're something special." "Jim is generous," Bruce replies. "I study fighting. Different styles, different approaches. Try to understand what works and why." They talk for 20 minutes, not about movies or fame, about combat, about movement, about the difference between looking good and being effective. Ali finds himself engaged in a way he rarely is at these parties. Usually, people want to talk to Muhammad Ali the celebrity. Bruce is talking to Muhammad Ali the fighter. Before they part, Bruce says something that sticks with Ali. In boxing, you've mastered the science of hitting without being hit. That's beautiful. But it's one science. There are others. It's not a challenge, not a criticism, just an observation. And it plants a seed in Ali's mind. 1 week later, Ali calls Jim Kelly. Can you set up a private session with Bruce? Just him, me, a few people. I want to see what he does. Really see it. Not a party demonstration. The real thing. Jim makes it happen. Bruce agrees immediately. He suggests his personal training space in Chinatown. Private. No cameras. No press. Just two martial artists exploring ideas. Ali brings only his closest circle. Angelo Dundee, his legendary trainer. Bundini Brown, his cornerman and motivator. And Drew Bundini Brown. That's it. This isn't about publicity. This is about learning. When they arrive at Bruce's school, it's not what Ali expects. No mystical decorations, no incense or gongs or any of the Orientalist trappings he's seen in other kung fu schools. Just a clean, functional training space. Heavy bags, speed bags, training dummies, weights. It looks more like a boxer's gym than a kung fu temple. Bruce is already there, warming up. Simple black training pants, no shirt. His physique is shocking. At 135 pounds, he looks like an anatomy chart. Every muscle defined. Zero body fat. The body of someone who has optimized every aspect of their physical conditioning. Welcome, Bruce says. Thank you for coming. Ali looks around, nods approvingly. This is a real gym. I respect that. No mystical nonsense, just work. The mystical is for movies, Bruce says with a slight smile. This is about function, about what works when someone is trying to hurt you. They spend a few minutes warming up together. Ali is surprised by how seriously Bruce takes the warm-up. Dynamic stretching, movement drills, shadow boxing. Bruce moves like water, smooth, continuous. No wasted motion. Even warming up, there's a precision to everything he does. Then Angelo speaks up. Bruce, Ali wanted to see what you do, not a demonstration. The real thing, how you actually fight. Bruce nods, looks at Ali. Would you like to see technique breakdown? Or application? Application, Ali says immediately. I want to see how it works against resistance. Bruce calls over one of his students, a solid guy, maybe 180 pounds, trained, competent, not a master, but skilled enough to provide realistic resistance. Attack me, Bruce tells him. Really attack. Don't hold back. The student hesitates. Bruce is his teacher. There's natural reluctance. I'm serious, Bruce insists. Come at me like you want to hurt me. The student throws a punch. A good punch. Fast. Committed. What happens next occurs so quickly that Ali almost misses it. Bruce doesn't block in any traditional sense. He's just suddenly not where the punch is. And his counter, a finger jab toward the student's eyes, stops a millimeter away. If Bruce had wanted to complete it, the student would be blind. Again, Bruce says. The student tries a kick. Bruce redirects it with minimal effort, uses the student's momentum against him, and suddenly the student is on the ground with Bruce's knee positioned at his throat. Again. This continues for 5 minutes. Different attacks, different responses, but the pattern is consistent. Bruce is never where the attack lands. His counters always target vulnerable points: eyes, throat, groin, knees. Places boxers never have to defend because they're illegal. Ali watches in complete silence. His mind is racing. He's seeing something he's never seen before. Not flashy kicks or breaking boards. Pure efficiency. Every movement has purpose. Nothing wasted. Nothing for show. When Bruce finishes, he's barely breathing hard. The student is exhausted. Bruce walks over to Ali. That's application. Against someone trying to hit me. Ali is quiet for a long moment. Then, he asks the question that's forming in his mind. In a real fight, no rules, just survival, how would you approach someone like me? Bruce doesn't hesitate. I would never try to box you. That's your world, your rules. I would target what you're not trained to defend. Show me, Ali says. Bruce gestures for Ali to stand up. May I? Ali stands. 6 inches taller, 75 pounds heavier. The greatest boxer alive. Throw your jab, Bruce says. The one that's too fast for everyone. The Ali jab that sets up everything. Ali throws it. Not full power, they're not fighting, but real speed. The jab that has confused every opponent he's ever faced. Bruce doesn't try to slip it like a boxer would. Instead, he moves his head just 2 inches. The jab passes by his face. And suddenly, Bruce's hand is at Ali's throat. Not touching. Just there. Your jab is perfect, Bruce says. Fastest in boxing. But it extends your arm, opens your center line, for a fraction of a second. In boxing, that doesn't matter because your opponent is trying to jab back or slip or counter with a cross. They're playing by boxing rules. But if I'm not playing by those rules, he demonstrates in slow motion. As Ali's jab extends, Bruce's hand shoots straight up the center to the throat, or down to the groin, or fingers toward the eyes. These targets don't exist in your world, Bruce continues. You've never had to defend them. Your stance, your guards, your movement all optimized for boxing. But boxing is one type of combat. There are others. Ali is not offended. He's fascinated. His mind is working, processing, understanding. Show me more, Ali says. And this is the moment that defines Ali's true greatness. He could be defensive, could dismiss this as theoretical, could protect his ego by pointing out that Bruce has never been in a real fight against a heavyweight boxer. Instead, he says the 2 words that change everything. Teach me. For the next 2 hours, Bruce Lee teaches Muhammad Ali about the gaps in boxing, not as criticism, as expansion. And Ali listens like the intelligent fighter he is. Bruce shows him how boxing's rules create habits that can be exploited, how the prohibition against hitting below the belt means boxers don't instinctively protect their groin, how the standing 8 count means boxers can survive getting hurt in ways that would be fatal in a no-rules situation, how gloves change everything about hand positioning and defense. None of this makes boxing inferior. Bruce emphasizes, boxing is beautiful. It's one of the purest combat sports, but it's optimized for specific rules. Change the rules, and optimal strategies change. Ali nods. He understands strategy. He's built his entire career on adapting tactics to exploit opponents' weaknesses. What would you do differently if you had to fight without rules? Bruce asks. Ali thinks about it. I'd have to completely change my stance. My hands protect against punches coming at my head. But if someone can attack my throat, my eyes, my knees, I'm open. Exactly, Bruce says. You understand. Your intelligence is what makes you great, not just your physical gifts. They work through scenarios. Bruce shows Ali vulnerable targets. Ali shows Bruce how to generate knockout power. Bruce demonstrates Wing Chun trapping techniques. Ali explains the sweet science of distance control and timing. Angelo Dundee watches in amazement. He's been training fighters for 30 years. He's never seen Ali this engaged, this willing to be a student. At one point, Bruce has Ali throw his fastest combination, the 1-2-3 that has destroyed opponents. Bruce videotapes it, then plays it back in slow motion. Look here, Bruce points at the screen. After your second punch, there's a tenth of a second where you're committed to the third punch. You can't stop it or change it. In boxing, that's fine, because your opponent is reacting to the first two punches. But watch this. Bruce demonstrates. As Ali throws the combination on the heavy bag, Bruce slips inside after the second punch and places his hand on Ali's throat before the third punch can land. In that tenth of a second, you're vulnerable to someone who's not following boxing's rhythm. Ali stares at the screen. His mind is blown. He's seeing his own technique deconstructed in a way no boxing coach ever has. Not to diminish it, but to understand it completely. This is science, Ali says quietly. This is pure science. Yes, Bruce agrees. Combat is physics, biology, psychology. The more you understand the science, the more complete you become. But this isn't just Bruce teaching Ali. Ali teaches back. When Bruce throws a punch, Ali stops him. You generate good power for your size, but you're not using your legs enough. Watch. Ali shows Bruce how to pivot from the back foot, how to turn the hip into the punch, how to make the entire body a whip that sends energy through the fist. Bruce tries it. His eyes widen. The power increase is immediate and obvious. That's beautiful, Bruce says. I've been focusing so much on hand speed that I haven't optimized the power chain. They work on it for 20 minutes. Ali coaching Bruce on the subtle weight transfers that make boxing punches so devastating. Bruce absorbing it like a sponge, integrating it immediately. Bundini Brown laughs. Never thought I'd see the day Ali becomes a kung fu teacher. But Ali is serious. This is what real fighters do. We learn from each other. Only fools think they know everything. Bruce nods in agreement. Empty your cup so it can be filled. That's an old saying, but it's true. If your cup is already full of what you think you know, there's no room for new understanding. Afterward, they sit and talk. Just the two of them. Ali, Bruce, and a pot of tea. Why did you want to meet me? Bruce asks. Really? You're Muhammad Ali. You don't need validation from anyone. Ali's quiet for a moment, considering his answer carefully. Because I'm 30 years old, Ali finally says. I've been boxing since I was 12. I'm the best at what I do. But lately, I've been thinking, what am I missing? What don't I know? Jim Kelly talked about you with real respect, not fan respect, fighter respect, and fighters know fighters. So I wanted to see what you see, understand what you understand. That's wisdom, Bruce says. Most men at your level wouldn't ask that question. They'd assume they've already reached the peak, but peaks are illusions. There's always more to learn, always more to understand. What about you? Ali asks. You're famous now. Movies coming. Why spend time with a boxer? We're in different worlds. Because you're real, Bruce says simply. You've been hit thousands of times. You've faced fear and pain and kept going. That's reality. I can train all day, develop techniques, optimize movements, but you've tested everything under the worst conditions. Against the best in the world, your knowledge is earned, battle-tested. I respect that more than anything. They talk about combat philosophy, about the difference between traditional martial arts and practical fighting, about how both boxing and kung fu have been limited by their own rules and traditions, about how the future of fighting will require integration, not separation. One day, Bruce says, there will be fighters who combine everything: boxing's footwork and punching, wrestling's takedowns, jiu-jitsu's ground fighting, striking from karate and taekwondo. Everything. No style, just what works. Ali leans back. That sounds like chaos. No, Bruce says. That sounds like truth. Because real fights don't follow one style's rules. Real survival requires all tools. You really think someone could beat me by using all that? Ali asks. Not defensively, genuinely curious. In a boxing match? No, you're too good. But in a street fight with no rules? Maybe, because you're optimized for one type of combat, the most important type for your career, but not the only type that exists. Ali nods slowly. I understand. You're saying I'm the greatest boxer, but boxing is one thing. Fighting is bigger than boxing. Yes, Bruce says, and that's not an insult. It's just reality. I'm a great martial artist, but I've never fought 15 rounds against the best in the world. Our greatness is in different domains. They meet 3 more times over the next year, always private, always learning from each other. Ali absorbs concepts about economy of motion, about targeting vulnerabilities, about the difference between looking aggressive and being effective. Bruce learns about the mental game, about controlling distance, about the conditioning required to perform at the highest level for extended periods. Their friendship becomes genuine, not a publicity stunt, not a celebrity connection. Real mutual respect between 2 men who recognize excellence. When Ali fights George Foreman in Zaire in 1974, Bruce watches the film afterward. He sees Ali doing something unexpected, rope-a-dope, covering up, letting Foreman punch himself out, conserving energy, waiting for the moment to counter. Bruce recognizes the principle immediately. It's economy of motion. It's using minimal effort to defeat maximum force. It's everything they talked about. Ali later tells a reporter, I learned that from studying different fighting styles. Sometimes the best defense is not trying to beat power with power. Sometimes you let the power exhaust itself. He never mentions Bruce by name, keeps it private, but Bruce knows, and that means more than any public acknowledgement. Bruce Lee dies in 1973. Sudden, tragic, only 32 years old. Ali is devastated. He sends flowers to the funeral, writes a private letter to Linda Lee, Bruce's wife. In it, he says something he's never said publicly. Bruce taught me that being the greatest at one thing doesn't mean you're complete. He taught me that real strength is being secure enough to learn from others. He made me a better fighter, not by beating me, but by showing me what I didn't know I didn't know. That's the rarest kind of teacher, the kind who makes you want to be better than you are. Years later, when Ali's career is over, when Parkinson's has taken his speed and his voice, a reporter asks him about martial arts, about whether boxers or martial artists would win in a real fight. Ali's answer is vintage Ali, but with depth earned from that day in Bruce's gym. Depends on the rules, he says slowly. The disease makes speech difficult, but the mind is still sharp. In boxing, the boxer wins. In Kung Fu, the Kung Fu master wins. In a street fight with no rules, the smarter fighter wins, the one who adapts fastest. Bruce Lee taught me that. He taught me that being great means never stopping learning. February 1972. Muhammad Ali walks into Bruce Lee's gym as the greatest boxer in history. He walks out as something more, not because Bruce diminished his boxing, but because Bruce expanded his understanding of what combat means, what completeness requires, what true mastery demands. And Ali's willingness to say, "Teach me," that's what separated him from every other champion. That's what made him not just great, but transcendent. The security to admit he didn't know everything, the wisdom to learn from someone half his size, the intelligence to understand that different expertise doesn't threaten your excellence, it enhances it. How many people in your life could teach you something valuable, but you won't let them because your ego says you should already know? How many opportunities for growth have you missed because you were too invested in being seen as the expert? Muhammad Ali, the man who told the world he was the greatest, had the wisdom to say, "Teach me," to someone from a completely different world. And that conversation changed combat forever. Not because it determined who would win a fight between them, but because it proved that true greatness isn't about defending what you know. It's about discovering what you don't. Two legends. Two different paths to mastery. One conversation that bridged worlds. Teach me. The two most powerful words Muhammad Ali ever said, because they revealed what made him truly great. Not his speed, not his power, not his confidence. His willingness to never stop growing. That's the legacy. That's the lesson. That's why, 52 years later, we're still talking about the day the greatest boxer in history asked a 135-pound martial artist to teach him something new, and learned that being the greatest at one thing is good, but being complete, that's immortal.